going on, everybody? It's your boy Pitts, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live. Listen, it's going down, all things HBCUs. And who else better to start it off with them Bowie State Bulldogs? We coming to you, Bowie State Bulldogs, total access. We got the Morgan State Bears. Listen, all HBCUs information, all HBCU news, sporting events, updates. You get it live here with Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Comcast Channel 77. Verizon Channel 11 is going down. Don't you miss a beat. Listen, it's only the beginning because it's early still. And we're going to be here all day. All day. What's going on, everybody? Y'all already know what it is, man. I am your host, Pitts. We are back.
Absolutely.
Coach Bernard Clark Jr., Robert Morris University.
Yes, sir.
And of course, y'all know what this is. This is Through the Eye of the Tiger. What's going on, Tiger?
Hey, man, just enjoying life, man, enjoying the process, trying to get ready for another season. Excited about another season and excited about another season with my man Pitts.
Let's go. Listen, you guys, it's been a while since we sat down with Coach Bernard Clark Jr., and a lot has happened since the last time we spoke. Spring ball has come and gone. Summer preparation is in the books, and now the Robert Morris Colonials are getting closer and closer to stepping on the field for real when competition and the games matter. This season brings new challenges, new faces, returning leaders, and expectations that continue to grow for this program. Coach Clark, welcome back to your show, Through the Eye of the Tiger.
Absolutely, man. Glad to be back, Pitch. The crazy thing, exactly what you said. Been through a lot, man. This year, though, only had 2 coaching changes, so that's a good thing. But we still probably got about probably 34, 35 brand new players, still stepping in here, maybe a little bit more. But we're excited about the guys that we have. We're excited about what we're about to do. And, let's just get the thing started.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in, Coach. When you look at where the program is right now compared to this time last year, what stands out the most?
Not as many new players that we had last year at this time. It was crazy. Coming this time last year when we started August camp, we had 57 new players. 57 new players. Yeah. This year we're able to get some in mid-year. So we only got about 34 that are brand new right now that just came in. So we're excited about that. Guys putting in the time they need to put in. And the great thing about it, we're able to do some summer school. This is the first time since I've been here. We know university stepped up and did a great thing for us and helped us get summer school. So we had about 60 guys to 75 guys here in summer school. So excited about that. So those are some of the new things that have happened. And like I said, 2 new coaches, got a new defensive line coach. One of the coaches left. Also got a new defensive coordinator, but not changing much. Don't want to change too much. Want to make sure our guys are as comfortable as possible, getting ready for the up-and-coming season.
What did you learn about your football team during the offseason in regards to the new challenges? Last year, they went through new coaches. They had a bulk of over 50 new players that joined the team. So it was the building of the continuity. See, I got that word right. You got me straight with it. It was the building of the continuity. It was the chemistry, right? And those things takes time to develop. Not as many changes this year, but just from spring ball, what were some of the things that you've seen that you learned from your team during that time?
Well, this spring and compared to last spring, like I said, we had a lot newer players last year than we did this year. We had some guys that came in the spring. We're excited about that. The good thing about it, we came out seeing we have 2 solid quarterbacks, 2 guys we feel real good about, and got some other guys that have come in and also to compete for the position. So we're good about that. Defensively, we're running around better. Like I said, we didn't have a ton of new players, so that's the positive thing. And offensively, we're running the same offense. So that's the thing that was real positive last year. As you know, at this time last year, I had 6 new coaches and 57 new players. So trying to juggle those things and trying to put them in the right position was tough. It was real tough, and I didn't do a very good job of that. And I think that's the reason we didn't play the way we're capable of playing and winning the games we are capable of winning. But with having the same offensive coordinator back, basically the same offensive coaches back,
Yeah.
being excited about those things. And like I said, having a new defense coordinator, but he's not going to change much. It's a situation where we're going to pretty much do what the players can do, and we're excited about that. So there's the difference. There's the difference. The thing that is different, though, we got got a new kicker, new punter, new snapper. So those are the things that we're really crazy about. That are really crazy right now, dealing with new special teams guys. We got 3 new guys, and Coach Ty is doing a great job with those guys. But we're excited about it. We're excited about what we can do because we felt like we had a good spring. And like I said, the summer went extremely well, having those guys up here this summer and getting the continuity that they needed, camaraderie, and all those things that they needed to have to be excited about going into it. Because now you have guys that have been together all summer. So now you have guys that can take constructive criticism from each other without getting upset because they've been together all summer. It's not a bunch of new guys coming in and guys getting on one another and they don't really know each other. So our guys know each other. The camaraderie is there, and we're excited about what's about to happen this year.
And as I can, only imagine, going through spring, the offense now gets to be consistent. There's no new wrinkles. I mean, of course, there's new plays here and
Right.
there, but as far as the foundation, right, you get to build on what was already established last
Yes.
year and move
Yes.
and progress as a unit in regards to that chemistry, offensive line connecting, talking,
Hmm.
running backs, receivers, all the above. And then not to mention, of course, said you have some new talent that came in as giving the quarterback room some shakeup. Definitely want to talk about that.
Right.
But first things, let me pivot. I didn't do our word. Is there a word of the week, or we want to wait till the season get here?
Well, what a week starts in the season, but as you know, we do what's called 4 quarters, and then the season's overtime. So we're in
Yeah.
the 4th quarter right now. The first quarter, was believe. Second quarter was mindset. The third quarter was committed. And right now we're in the 4th quarter because we've started camp and the word is focused. I want to make sure our guys are focused and committed to what we need to do and getting ready for the season. So we got to make sure when they're on that field, they're focused on what we need to do and how we need to go about doing it and making sure they're challenging in. Because again, and I know at this time when you having football camp, there's no school. There's no
Yeah.
school involved. There's nothing. It's strictly football. You're
Right.
here playing football, 24 hours football until school starts. So we want to make sure they're locked in on what we need them to do and locked in and paying attention to what's going on. So there's a word that's right now in the 4th quarter, it's focused.
And like we like to tie, or I like to, believing, the focus, the the
Mindset,
the mindset, and
committed.
the like. So when you talk about those things, right, the focus really is the benefactor of all of those things already working
Absolutely.
together, right?
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
then the game becomes more reactionary and
Hmm.
not in the thought process, right? Not thinking about assignment, not
Hmm.
thinking about where am I supposed to be on this play. Now, the film study and everything that we've done to get our mindset right, to get our belief right, to get our commitment together, to be able to be in a position to focus and just, play one play at a time. In regards to that, are there any players that you've seen, step up, or because every team needs leaders, right?
Hmm.
Who are some of the players who have really stepped up that you have seen thus far?
Well, the young man we brought in at quarterback, Carson Haggard. Carson's doing a great job. I'm sorry, Haggard. Doing a great job. Carson's playing outstanding for us. Not only that, he's been a leader all summer long. Been a leader all summer long. He's done a great job of leading our guys, along with David Johnson, who's a defensive tackle we have returning. Now, Carson's a guy that we brought in the fall. We brought him in January. So
Okay.
he's been here all summer, committed to what he's doing. The school he came from is irrelevant. I know people, you can look it up. I don't get caught up in where he transferred from. What we have, we feel like is a good leader. But the great thing about it, the young man that played a lot last year in Cooper did an outstanding job as a true freshman. So we
Right.
have 2 quarterbacks that have some playing time on the field, which was different than last year. The only one that really, really had playing time was Zach. Zach
Right.
was the only one we had to have playing time. And when he went down, and we went down to our 4th quarterback, which was Cooper, we didn't have guys who had that playing time at that position. Whereas different right now, Carson's had playing time, Cooper's had playing time. So we're excited about that. And DJ, DJ's our defensive tackle, has been a great job, been a leader on the field, has done an outstanding job, played hard for us last year. Again, was a redshirt freshman last year, so he's a redshirt sophomore, but he has some starts under his belt. So those are probably two guys that have jumped out more than anything, along with our two receivers, Galen and Jakai, two guys that played a lot for us freshmen last year. They played a lot. They're coming back. But those guys are the ones that really stick out more than anyone right now. And we got some guys on defense, but most of our guys on defense are new. Most of our guys on defense are new that didn't really play for us last year, but we got a lot more speed, I think, this year on defense than we had last year.
Okay, I can envision a couple Ron Carter ESPN highlights coming this year. Like
That'd be
my man
nice.
from
Matter of fact, you know what, Pitts, I got to give him a shout out too, man, because right now he's signed with the Indianapolis Colts. So Rob Carter's with the Colts right now.
yeah,
I'm hoping,
man.
I wish him nothing but the best, man. I want him to go for his destiny. I don't believe in good luck. I only believe in a good God. So I hope he goes for his destiny, man. He pulls this thing out and ends up making the team. Had an interception the other day in a scrimmage, so that was great. So I'm excited for Rob, man. He had an unbelievable season with British Columbia last year in CFL. Had two more of those one-handed catches and a punt return. I think that's how he signed his contract with Indianapolis. So we're hoping we
Yeah.
have one of those guys laying in the rough for us, laying in the brush over there, trying to see if we can make some things happen.
And it's crazy you said, because I'm gonna put a pin real quick. Like, I was just thinking, reason why I brought him up is because in my mind I'm like, I would really love to see him, to be able to get that work with a Sauce Gardner, and
Hmm.
to get that leadership and see how Sauce, and then see them on each side, because Ross, listen, you want to turn over. What my man, what Booby used to say, you want to win, put Booby in.
Booby in the game. That's it. No doubt.
Let's go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
No, and the thing with Rob, Rob had a great career, but what he's done since he left here is he's continued to improve. That's something I continue to talk to our guys about. It ain't about just remaining the same. You got to get 1% better every day. You and I talk about it all the time.
Absolutely.
You got to get better each day at something, no matter what it is. And he's continued to do that. And the thing that originally that hurt him, what people don't understand, he didn't have a great 40 time, but he has football speed. And he's shown the
Yes.
football speed. He showed it in the CFL last year, and hopefully he'll get an opportunity to show it this year in the NFL. I'm excited for the young man. I'm hoping everything works out for him.
Last year, Coach, one of the things that we talked a lot about was the offensive line and injuries, right?
Hmm.
But yet it was still the five. How are we looking trench wise on the offensive side this year?
Well, that's the crazy thing. That's where we got a lot of new pieces. We had about 3 seniors graduate last year. 3 guys graduated, and most of the guys were just redshirt seniors, but they felt their bodies were beat up. They just couldn't do it anymore. So we had like 3 or 4 guys that decided they decided to leave. So that's where our new bodies are. So we're still trying to get some continuity there with different guys, because again, coming into a camp, you get a couple guys hurt here, a couple guys hurt here. You start out with 18, and next thing you know, you're down to 12. Or you're down to 10, and then they're getting better. And as the season goes on, you're trying to get this. And to be crazy enough, we're still trying to get some guys in before school starts. We're still looking at a couple of O-linemen trying to get them in before school starts, because that's where you need the depth. That's
Yeah.
where you need the help. You got to make sure you have those guys padded up, ready to go. And you got to have more than 5. You
Yeah.
may have to play with 10 to 12 guys each game, depending on how the rotation goes. So we're still excited about those guys, but we're still trying to build that continuity between those guys, because that's the newest position that we have.
And when you talk about depth, I was actually going to go there next as well. And there was a game last year where it was so many injuries that it was like freshmen on defense,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
safeties and cornerbacks.
Hmm.
How are you looking depth wise in regards to um, veteran players behind the ones?
Well, we brought some transfers in who have played at different places, and they're vets. But we still got those guys last year that had to play who are now redshirt freshmen.
Yeah.
So they got 4 more years left to play for us, and that's the great thing and the positive thing about that. But we brought some guys in from different schools, transfers in, who had 3 or 4 games under their belt, some Division II schools and things like that, who's had 11 games under their belt, 12 games under their belt, because they started at Division II and they had an opportunity to come up to FCS football. So that's what they did. So we're excited about those guys, but not to say we're not excited about our redshirt freshmen, because
Yeah.
those guys are competing hard this camp and doing a great job.
Speaking of the transfer portal and everything, now with this new NCAA rule, right,
Hmm.
where the clock starts, it's 5 years regardless,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
You graduate in 19, whichever comes first.
Hmm.
Does that change Does do you change in regards to how you recruit and how you hit the transfer portal now that it's a running clock regardless?
I think the young men do that. I think they got to look at that and be cognizant of what they're doing when they decide to go into the transfer portal. Because again,
Mm,
now it goes back to, am I going to graduate from college? Am I going to be ready to play when I get to the next school? So all
yeah,
those things kind of fall into place now. So you got 5 years to get it done, and I think that's why the NCAA did it that way. Because in 5 years, you should be able to graduate from college. And that's
absolutely.
the most important thing. You and I both know that within those 5 years, you got to make those things happen. And I think it was just getting to the point where guys were getting 6, 7 years in, 8 years, 9 years, and it was just getting kind of old. And I think, you know what? I think this is a great model. I really
Yeah,
do. Some people may disagree with me. Some people may agree with me. I have no idea. I'm just giving my opinion. I think it's a great model because it does two things. In 5 years, if a young man's going to play college football, he's going to be a starter. He can do that within 5 years. If he wants to transfer and be able to play at a bigger school, he can do that within 5 years. But the most important thing, that young man should be able to get his degree within a 5 year period because don't you want to spend anywhere 4 or 5 years and not graduate from college. Just doesn't make any sense to me.
right. How about and I think and I agree, too, with you in regards to the clock. I think for me though, when you talk about the onus being on the players, not just in regards to graduating,
Hmm.
but you go on the transfer portal and you don't get picked up, that's still a year gone.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
now there has to be a real deep understanding and an intentionality. And now, am I harming myself, right? Because especially if I didn't get playing time, a lot of playing time earlier, last year, am I putting myself in a bad position to where I may lose a year of eligibility by entering the transfer portal? Because when you look at it, it's a lonely place, man, because there's still so many players that be left in the transfer portal once the season begins.
I agree with you 100%. And that's a conversation they got to have with themselves as well as their parents or their guardian, whoever it may be, whoever they're giving those instructions to them, because
Yeah,
that becomes a serious conversation. Because just like you said, even if you go to junior college, once you get to
yeah,
junior college, your clock starts. So if you
yeah,
spend, let's say you're not a qualifier. So as not being a qualifier, you have to have your AA before you can leave. It usually takes guys anywhere from 2 to 3 years to get their AA. So once they leave junior college, they got 3 years or maybe 2 years left. So they got to understand those things too. So now high school has to become more important. There's no more prep school. I think with prep school it may be a little bit different, but if you go to prep school, you turn 19, your clock starts. So
yeah,
that's where it gets a little tricky. And again, I haven't worked out all the wrinkles. I think when it comes to prep school, I'm not sure how they're going to do that yet. But I know once you go
right,
to a university, that's it. Your clock start. Now Division II has adopted the same rule. So if you go
yeah.
Division I or Division II, it's the same rule. So again, these are conversations, tough conversations parents are gonna have with the young men that they have that want to transfer. And young men got to have those conversations with themselves. I know me personally, and again, the three things we talked about before this season came that coaches, as we're recruiting guys, the first thing is character. I want to make sure these guys have great character where they need to be at. The second thing is, do they love the game of football? Do they want to play the game of football? Because it's not going to get easy in college. And the last thing
Yeah.
is, look, you may want to think about transferring, but that's fine. But while you're here at Robert Morris, I want you to have 10 toes down. I want you to be here for Robert Morris, giving us 100% throughout every game. Get your mind out of transfer portal. Now, at the end of the year, if that's something you want to talk about, we'll have that conversation because of the 5 year rule and everything else, and we'll have an honest and blunt conversation. But until then, let's have 10 toes down for Robert Morris. But when that time comes, I'll have blunt, honest conversations with these young men to help them understand this is where you are, this is what might happen,
Yeah.
and you probably won't be coming back to Robert Morris University if you decide you don't want to be at Robert Morris University. So I want to make sure those young men understand that, and they do a great job of evaluating themselves and being honest with themselves and giving themselves the best opportunity.
And lastly, on this topic, you know, I'm really interested in seeing for students who reclass, right?
Yes.
Because a lot of students over the last couple of years have reclassed,
Hmm.
and now with that clock starting at 19, you know, do that slow down that process of that many kids reclassing?
That I don't know. That's a question I can't answer. To be totally
Right,
honest
right,
with you.
right.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to when they start college and all the other things that go along with it. Because there are a lot of 19-year-olds that are still in high school, so I don't think it'll affect them. Well, it will affect them once that fall starts. But again, I'm not 100% on how they're going to do that. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting that when you
yep.
say that, because that is true. What the way that the rule read was, made it seem like whichever one comes first, that's the clock that they were started with. So I think it's definitely gonna have some wrinkles. There's gonna be some amendments to it. I'm pretty
Yes,
sure after this first year, But back to the Colonials. When you look at the
absolutely.
schedule, when you look at your schedule this year, what immediately jumps out at you?
That our first game was a conference game. That's what immediately jumps out at me. We play Wagner the first game of the year, and like I told the coaches last year, we don't have a buffer game to get ready for the conference. We're starting the conference right now, so we got to make sure our guys are focused. We got to make sure our guys are coming in here and understanding what our game plan is going to be when we get ready to go up against Wagner. So that's the first thing that jumps out at me. And the other thing is, we have some tough games in there, and I'm sure you've heard by now what Akron decided to do. So that's going to also be a kind of a crazy
Wait,
game to play in.
wait,
Oh,
what you mean?
you haven't
I didn't
heard?
hear.
I'm
No.
surprised, Pitch. You on top of everything. I guess they put out a auction. They're supposed to auction. Somebody's supposed to auction on calling the first series of the game. So I guess they're gonna take fans to auction to call the first series of the game. So
This what
it's
we
one of those.
doing.
So it's just one of those. But you know what? To be honest with you, Pitch, Coach Moore, the head coach, he handled it perfect. I mean, it's a situation where he's like, I'm not trying to embarrass Robert Morris University. It's just something that the AD came up with it, and I kind of agree with it. And I'm not upset with anybody. That's great for them. I mean, if they want to do that, that's good for them. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Our job right now is to get ready for Wagner, and
Wow.
then after Wagner, get ready for West Virginia State. So they're our third game of the year, so we can't even think about that right now. But
Yeah.
like I was telling you, the first thing that jumps out is the fact that we play a conference game first game of the year, and that's Wagner University.
Absolutely. And then that first home game right at Joe Walton
Yes,
Stadium,
yeah,
West
yeah,
Virginia State University, September 5th.
yes,
I
yes.
do look forward to being there.
I was going to ask you, are you going to be here?
Yeah.
Okay,
September
okay.
September 5th, October 3rd.
You got me excited about you being here. Now we do
Yes.
this. We can do the show on campus, so we're good to go.
Yeah. Absolutely. September 5th and October 3rd. I will be there. And then I'll see you in Baltimore the very next week.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but
Well,
when
wait a minute. Who you gonna be rooting for? Because you're gonna be
well,
torn. You're
well,
gonna be torn at that one.
well, it's funny. You and Coach Wilson have a very distinctive same sense of humor, and it's funny because Coach Wilson said he was like, "Look, now you ain't got to choose." But it's great for me because I get to I really get to work the entire stadium. I mean, I do that now when
Right.
depending on of course for HBCUs I work the whole stadium, but now for this game I literally get to work the entire stadium, and
Yep.
it's gonna be exciting. I
You
just
still
look.
you still dodging the question though.
You said who am I rooting for?
Yeah, you still dodging the question. You got to put a hat on. Which hat you putting
Hey,
on? That's all I want to know. So
hey,
my
listen,
first thing that I think
Coach,
of when it comes to the
Coach put me
season
on the
is
spot right
Wagner.
now.
First thing is Wagner. I'm thinking about Wagner. The second thing I'm thinking about is what hat Pitch gonna wear when we get in Florida State.
I mean, Coach, listen, I love you, man.
I'm
But
listening.
I'm true to HBCU, so I gotta go to HBCU.
Wait a minute.
But
We ain't playing
look,
Bowie. We ain't playing Bowie. I can see you locking in with Bowie. We're not playing Bowie. We're playing Oregon State. So I'm just saying.
But Coach Wilson is Bowie,
No, not anymore.
I'm gonna wear, you know what? I'm gonna wear an orange and a red hat, right? So it
Oh,
can be
okay.
split down the middle.
Yeah,
Now,
okay.
you know how some of them parents be when they got two kids in the NFL and they
Yes,
got one side this kid, the other side the other kid.
I got you.
That's how I'm gonna be. But I definitely can't wait because I can't wait to
Yeah,
get a photo. I just want to get a photo midfield with you and Coach, man, because
sounds good.
for those that don't know, when I first really started to, branch out there with the video and the TV and the games, like you and Coach Wilson have been the two constants through it all, right?
Yeah.
And in that constant, I feel that I have established a great relationship, with both of you. And I'm greatly appreciative, because you
But
guys keep it fresh.
obviously, you're more appreciative of Morgan State than you are. Or should I say, more appreciative of Coach Bowie than you are of me? But
Oh
it's
man.
cool.
Let's see.
It's
Let's see
cool.
what this comments is saying in the chat on Instagram. Let's go to Instagram. Let's see. Okay. I got a mixture. I got some red and blue in there, and I got some orange and blue in the comments. They dueling in the comments.
Okay, let
But
slow down a little bit. That game's like what 4 or
right,
5 weeks away, so we're
right,
getting
right,
ready for
right.
Wagner. Mhm.
Right. No, like we say, let's go 1-0. That's always been your motto.
No
And
doubt.
for those who are watching, this is all in jest. It's definitely going to be a great feeling for me to be able to, be able to have this experience with both of them on the field. But as Coach Clark Jr. always says, I'm only focused on week one. Like we said, week one is Wagner. And, just in regards to preparing for Wagner, um, what are your thoughts? We always talked about we want to start fast. That's something that we say every
Yes,
week,
yes.
right? Do you have now a preference whether it's offense starting fast or defense?
I
Who
always
you
want to
want? Who
start.
you want? Who you want on the field first?
I always want defense first because I
No,
want to see what the other team is bringing. I want to see what the other team has and how they're going to try to attack us. So I always want to go defense first. And not only that, I'm a defensive guy. And so
yeah,
I want our defense to go out there and shut them down first, too. So that's what's important to me. The difference is now, because of the transfer portal, we have a lot of new players. They have a lot of new players. So, and we're going in the first game. So, we really don't know. We're going to do some of the same stuff as what we did offensively and defensively, but we're going to have different guys doing it. So
right.
now it's a little different. Now things look a little different. Now they have the same quarterback. It's exciting to see that young man come back. He's a good player, but they're going to have different players we are too. So that's the excitement about this being a conference game. And that's why it jumps out so much. And the first thing that I said to the coaches when I got back, guys, there ain't no buffer game. We're not playing, we're not playing West Virginia and Youngstown, then going into the conference. No, there's no buffer games this year. We're going straight into it. So we're excited about that. But Wagner's a good football team. They beat us last year, did a good job. It was a tough game. We had an opportunity to win at the end, and they knocked the pass down in order for them to win the football game. So they're a tough opponent. They've always been a tough, hard opponent. They got a hard-nosed team. So
Yeah,
we're excited about it, but at the same time, we got to be ready for it.
yeah. And coach, is there an advantage to starting the season off against a conference opponent?
I don't know if there's an advantage or not, to be honest with you, but in my thinking, it's more about where do we match up with the rest of the conference. Can we go in here and get this victory, or we go in here and we lose the game? Now we know, okay, we're either gonna start out 1-0 or 0-1. Now we know what we got to do for the rest of the conference. So you do have, I don't know how much of an advantage it is, but you do have a mindset differently when it goes in if you're 1-0 if you're 0-1. So it's a little different mindset when you're playing the rest of the conference.
Man, coach, this is so good to be back. It's like I can smell the football grass in the
There
air.
you go. There you
Uh,
go.
you know, and out there, Dylan's high school football bound this year.
Oh, that is crazy, man. High school football for Dylan. That's wild.
Yeah, man. So
That
this
is
is gonna
wild.
be an exciting year. But listen, man, this is the first of a full season to come. And listen,
Absolutely.
you already know what it is. It's your boy Pitts. It's Tiger.
There
It's
ain't
through
no
the
doubt.
eye of the tiger. And
Hey,
you know how
let's make
coach
it
like
happen.
to go ahead, coach. Go
Hey,
ahead and take us out the best way
hey,
you know how.
again, let's get ready for this season with me and Pitch. I'm excited about being around my man Pitch. We're getting ready for a big season. We're excited about it. So you know what we got to do, baby. Let's go, Bobby Mo.
Let's get it, man. Y'all can catch Coach and I on Wednesdays. Time will be determined. However, we need y'all. We want y'all this year. Join the chat, comment. You got questions for Coach? Go ahead, throw them out there. We have no problem with putting your question out there for Coach if you have one. Let's get active. Y'all know what Pitt Sports Zone.
Much love.